Okay, we're going to wire up a pot, which is a resistor, a variable resistor, which we're going to use to control the brightness of the LED, hopefully without burning it out. And right now we're basically just going to show you how to solder. So what I did is I took this wire and I stripped it, and then I bent a little hook in the end. This is solid core. This is not regular stranded wire. This is solid, which is not what most people use, but we do. I will take that and I will hook it around the lug, so that way we have a good solid connection, and I know it's connected when I'm tugging on it. Now we take our solder and put a little bit of solder on the table.
That little soldering iron over there is what he's using.
Okay, and we apply just a tiny bit of solder, and what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the solder lug as well as the wire that we just wrapped around it at the same time. And once it's heated up, we're going to apply some solder to the wire, and it's going to flow together. Now we don't want to use too much, we want to use just enough. If we add too much, we're going to create a cold solder, and it's not going to be a good connection. Could possibly break as well. So what we do is we first heat them up. We're going to use a little bit of solder as a vehicle, and as soon as that's hot, which is just a couple seconds, we're going to let our solder flow, and then we're going to pull away.
You don't want to solder for too long, because if you do, it's probably going to melt it through. So you want to pull away as soon as you can.
Now another thing we want to discuss is the type of solder that we use. Now this is not a very safe solder to use. It is full of lead, so when you do use this, you want to make sure that you actually wash your hands and the area that you work in.
What's the name of that solder?
It's a leaded solder made by MG Chemicals, and it's an octaric blend, which means that it is 6337 blend, and that's basically the amount of lead that's in the solder.
Move your hand for a second so it will focus. Is that focusing? Okay, it's focused.
And so when we store this, I put it back in a plastic bag, wrap it up, store it over with my soldering iron.
Right over there, that's the little soldering iron.
And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to wash my hands. I'm not too worried about much. Okay? And then we solder the pot.
That's how you solder a pot, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Punch that like button like a boss. And that's it for today.